When I first heard about nkoda, this sounds great, there's bound to be a catch. But once I got the app and started using it, I was really surprised at A, how much was on there, and B, how easy it was to use. There's a lot of music there that I'm not aware of, and I've discovered pieces through looking for other pieces that are similar instrumentation that come up on the search lists. That's when I realised that this really is a fantastic resource. As a composer, it's so useful to have access to such a vast library, and the way I've been using it, particularly in the last year, is when I'm starting a piece or when I'm thinking about a piece I've got to write for certain instrumentations. I just started writing a piece for flute, piano, viola, cello, which is an unusual combination. To be able to just type an instrumentation in and a whole list of pieces come up, doing a search, not by composer. And I've discovered all sorts of interesting pieces by composers who I know, but I didn't know they'd written for around that kind of instrumentation. So that's a real discovery for me, and that helps me with writing, doing listening when I'm working. I find that really useful.
My name's William Parker. So I've just started my postgraduate here at the Royal Academy of Music in composition. Before I came here, I spent 4 years in Glasgow at the Royal Conservatoire Scotland, also studying composition. And before that, I started off in school, writing music for plays that we did in school and theatre productions. And from that, my composition has kind of always had a very theatrical aspect. I didn't come from a particularly musical family, so a lot of my kind of journey as a composer has been one of self-discovery and kind of relying on services, lots of the time like kind of internet services, to find scores, access scores, analyse scores, discover composers, because it wasn't necessarily kind of fed to me in the kind of traditional way. So the fact that nkoda exists now, it's kind of changing the way that the composition world works, I guess. In the past, it's obviously you would get a publisher and everything would exist on paper and people could order scores online and pay that way. Whereas I'd kind of like my music to be consumed in the same way, and kind of access on a kind of service, where people can perform it and study it digitally. I think it's much, much easier than having to wait to order a score or having to pay for a score, especially for students who are studying, where they can get access to this sort of stuff for free. Music should be available to anyone who's interested. It shouldn't be that kind of things get passed on, in kind of tight-knit circles, because I think anyone that's interested, anyone new to classical music or doesn't come from the most traditional background, these are all kind of unique voices, who will bring special things to music that, the whole world would be worse off without. So it kind of indicates a kind of change in the industry, I guess, and the way that music is and scores are viewed and consumed and shared, which I think is quite exciting, yeah.